Hello everyone, it's Carol here at Oak House Journals, and I'm going in to do my Junk Journal January prompt for today, and this is the Junk Journal January 2024. So I'm doing prompt number 19, which is interactive, and I'm just showing you how chunky my little journal is getting. This page on the right is the page dedicated to interactive, but as you can see when I take this page out, I have got an envelope on that left hand page. I don't like it at all, and it's not going to complement what I want to do today. So I've got some papers here that I have made. You will have seen me show these in a previous video, and all I'm doing is I'm backing the back of the envelope with this homemade marbled paper. So I've done the back, I'm just doing a little piece to go inside, gluing it in place, and then as you can see I've got a flap there. Now I need to cover that, so I'm bringing in another piece of that paper, cutting myself a strip the right size and gluing it on the back. Here I've got a scrap of paper and I'm just punching out a circle, and then with another scrap doubled over I'm gluing it, and whilst that's drying I'm going into the main page, the right hand page, and I'm also covering that. Now this is the proper page that I should be working on in my journal for interactive, so I'm backing that or covering that page with the same handmade marbled paper. So just bringing in my envelope on the left hand side, which is on a separate page, and you can see the two together there. So here I've got a tab punch. This is one of Stampin' Up's tab punches, and I'm just punching out a couple of tabs, gluing one on the inside and just putting it on the flap to my envelope, because to make this envelope interactive I will need to open it. So as you can see I've just put a couple of eyelets and made a celery closure on the left hand side with that little circle, and I've just put some thread round the or through the eyelet on the tab or through the tab. Here I've got a tag that I made many moons ago, and I want to mount that little picture on the front. So what I'm doing here is I've got some tiny magnets and I am gluing them onto little portions of double-sided tape. Now for those of you who don't know, this is double-sided tape, and the red colour you're seeing is the backing that is still on one side. So these tiny magnets are really small, so now I'm using the double-sided tape and just gluing it to the back of my picture, taking away the backing on the double-sided tape, adding glue everywhere other than on the back of the magnets. So I'm even putting a dab of glue on the double-sided tape holding those magnets in place. And here I've just got a book page and I'm backing that little picture and trimming away the excess. Now I do go in and stitch around that little picture on my machine in due course. So that's what my picture is going to look like when it's centered on the front of my tag. So here I'm getting 4 more magnets and I'm just dropping them onto the back of my tag, and they will stay perfectly in place because of the magnets on the back of my picture. So I'm doing exactly the same thing with the tag, and here just peeling away the backing again and making a very quick collage on the back of my tag to hide where the magnets have been placed. So just some odd scraps out of my scrap box, piece of wallpaper there to match the wallpaper that I used on the actual tag many moons ago. Lucky enough to be able to find a piece of that. There we go. Just feeling my way where I want to put various bits and bobs on this collage. So that's my tag done, and now I need to create something for my tag to sit in. So here I'm bringing in a vintage document, just roughly working out the size that I need my side tuck or side pocket to be, and I'm just ripping away that piece of vintage receipt I've gone round here with a couple of lines of messy stitching on my sewing machine, and this is where I've gone in, and I've also done it on that little photograph as well of the little boy. So now I'm gluing that scrap of vintage receipt, positioning it on my page, burnishing with my bone folder. I've trimmed it away, and now I'm going around the page with vintage photo distress ink. And I have a couple of, well, I have more than a couple of scraps left over from that vintage receipt. So I thought I'd use a couple on the back of the envelope to try and unify these two pages together. They won't constitute a journal spread, but at least I can get them to sit well together by adding some of the papers on both pages. So here I've got one strip going in, and then you'll see me go in with the second ripped strip, and those pieces were originally together, so I'm very gingerly and very carefully here trying to match up the lettering and the wording on this with this second strip against the first strip that is already glued to my page, so it looks like one unified piece of paper. And again here I'm just going in trying to create a rough collage in that bottom left hand corner, again using the same papers that I've used on the opposite page, just to try and tie them in together. A scrap of the wallpaper on the envelope flap. I go in with some washi tape up there. There's some washi tape in the bottom left hand corner on those scraps of paper. Here I've got a couple of vintage stamps, well, three in fact, two joined together and one on its own, and I'm just trying to lay them up to create a bit of a focal point in that bottom left hand corner. And I've chosen colours to match up with my little boy on the other side. So I've flipped the image of the little boy over, and I'm using one of the same stamps that I've used for the collage on the left hand side. So that is my piece for today. Here I'm just showing you how I've created that closure and for the back of the envelope and made it interactive. And this is the tag. Now that little boy is magnetized to the front of the tag, so he will slip in nicely over that pocket and also pull out and sit nicely on the front of the tag. So that is what I'm hoping is enough to be interactive for today's prompt. Here you can see I'm just going around with a final bit of vintage photo on my envelope page, along the hinge and also along the flap of the envelope. Closing it up again, and there we go. So thank you so much for watching. As always, everybody, I really do appreciate your company. I hope you enjoyed seeing this one come together. I've used that little image of an Oriental boy or Asian boy before, and I absolutely love his little grumpy face. So thank you for your support and for your lovely comments. I do read each and every one. I'm not able to reply to them at the moment, but I promise you I will reply to each and every one of your comments by the end of Junk Journal January. So I do hope you'll join me for the next prompt tomorrow, which is nature. Until then, take care everybody. Bye bye now.